determine the different values for m for which this quadratic would have either repeated roots, two distinct roots, or no real roots. Okay, so let's look at the values for m for which it would have repeated roots. Okay, what do we know about when a quadratic has repeated roots? Well, when it has repeated roots, the discriminant is equal to 0, isn't it? So first off, let's figure out the discriminant. The discriminant is going to be b squared, so that's negative 2 squared, take 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is m. Okay, so therefore that would be 4 take 4m. So that's what the discriminant is. Okay, so the discriminant's 4 take 4m. So for repeated roots, this discriminant must be equal to 0. So what I do is I go, okay, I'm going to make the discriminant equal to 0. So the discriminant must equal 0. What is the discriminant? It's 4 take 4m. So that is equal to 0. So therefore, negative 4m is equal to negative 4. So you can see m is equal to 1. So when m is equal to 1, this quadratic has repeated roots. Okay, so when m is 1, there is repeated roots. Okay, so let's take a look at what values for m this quadratic would have 2 real roots. Well, I know that when a quadratic has 2 distinct roots, okay, 2 distinct roots, I know that the discriminant is positive, it's greater than 0. So what did I work out the discriminant to be? 4 take 4m. So therefore, 4 take 4m must be greater than 0. Therefore, negative 4m must be greater than negative 4. Not 0, that's a negative 4. Now divide both sides by negative 4. What happens when I divide both sides by negative 4? The inequality switches. Okay, so m is less than 1. So when m is less than 1, we have 2 distinct roots. Okay, just always remember, if you divide or multiply by a negative number, you have to switch the inequality sign. Okay, so lastly, let's look at what values for m this would have no real roots. Okay, no roots. I know that when a quadratic has no real roots, its discriminant must be negative, is less than 0. So therefore 4 take 4m must be less than 0. So therefore negative 4m is less than negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 4. That would leave me with m is greater than 1. Okay, I have to switch the inequality sign because I divided by negative 4. So when m is greater than 1, there is no roots. No real roots. So therefore, if I was to do just a mock sign diagram of m here, okay, at 1 there is repeated roots. Okay, when m is greater than 1, there's no roots, and when m is less than 1, like that before, it has 2 distinct roots. Okay,